融不进的城市，回不去的故乡，国内异乡人尚且如此，异国他乡，语言不通，无亲无故，必定面临更多的困难。远方的苏飘，你的逐梦之路是否也有过困惑？
我是在中国班门弄斧的幽默安达路。I've been helped hugely by Jade people in Suzhou and in China. The first man to help me was a humble craftsman called Wu Fan from Shandong province, who had a little workshop with his wife and a couple of others in Shangwanglong. He let me into his workshop every afternoon for 2 years. Every morning I would go to the university and study Chinese and improve my Chinese. And every afternoon I would study at his feet. He would give me jade to carve. He would give me designs and ask me and show me how to make them. Every day for 2 years, I slowly improved. He was the first person to help me. And he represents much that is good about China. Humble, talented, hardworking, generous and honest. The second person to help me was Huang Hezhong, an old expert in jade who was retired, but he taught me about jade culture, jade wenhua, and the meanings behind each jade that I carved. Unlike in the West, where you carve jade because it's pretty, in China, every piece has a meaning. When people in China, I carve a piece, they don't say, "Oh, that's nice," they say, "What does it mean?" He taught me the meanings behind jade. He taught me the stories about jade. He taught me the history of jade from thousands of years ago. The third person to help me was a man called Tang Wei-Chi, who I actually met in America. He took me to Beijing. We've become great friends for 10 years. He took me to events in Beijing, exhibitions around the world, around the country, and taught me not so much about the culture, not so much about carving, but about the society of jade carvers and the friendship between them and the interconnection between cities and the different types of carving from different types of areas. And finally, probably the most important person to help me was the Chinese master carver from Suzhou, Chu Lijun. It was Chu Lijun who invited me, once I'd finished my apprenticeship and I'd learned to carve, who invited me to exhibit at Zheganbei, one of the most important and prestigious jade carving competitions in China. And for many years now, he has been my mentor. You get to a point where after you learn to carve, where you develop your own style. And I developed my own style, where I had combined what I'd learned in China and Chinese culture with Western culture. 结合起来 different cultures and come up with my own special sort of jade carving technique and style. So all the way along, people have been friendly and people have helped me. People have guided me to do something that I'd always dreamed of. I never believed in my wildest dreams that once I'd come to China, not only would I learn to carve jade, I would have my own workshop, open my own gallery, win gold and silver medals in national competitions, and even write a book about jade, which has been sold all over the world. I have to say that jade is an all-consuming passion. It's something that you think about all the time, just touching jade, carving jade, designing jade, buying jade, selling jade, talking about jade, reading jade books, looking at pictures about jade. It's something that can completely consume you. It consumes me and has done for many years. It's what led me to write a book about it. So if I have another hobby, if I have another interest, if I have another dream, it is about writing. This comes from my past as a journalist, but now I write books. And the first book that I wrote, of course, was about jade, and it's sold all over the world. And it's something that I have a passion about and I can write about. And now I'm writing more. Now I'm writing novels, but they're based on jade as well. So jade is still preeminent in my life. I may be getting older. I should be retired. My eyes are not as good as they used to be. My hands are not as steady, but my heart is young. And I keep carving, I keep designing, and I keep talking about jade and communicating with Chinese people about jade. It's one of the beauties of Chinese culture, one of the most ancient parts of it, and something that not only do I enjoy, but I appreciate 100% to the fullest.